The championship run is beginning to sort out in the 2015 AMSOIL GNCC Series. Adam McGill and Walker Fowler have been locking horns week in and week out, and the last race in South Carolina was no exception. Fowler came out on top to tighten the points race. Can McGill bounce back today? Oh boy, it's muddy. Welcome to Springville, Indiana. The Limestone 100 GNCC, part of the AMSOIL Grand National Cross Country Series, presented by Maxxis and AMA National Championship. We are not strangers to these conditions in cross-country racing. So the riders quickly go into mud mode. There's your points leader, Adam McGill. You see Walker Fowler second in the series, the jacket, the gigantic handguards. They've got these machines prepped up for what will be a treacherous day. By the way, only 15 points between McGill, your points leader, and Fowler, second in the series, who won our last race in South Carolina. But that was dry. Let's go racing in the mud. McGill's on the inside. Going to get pinched off, though. Still trying to work it down there. One of the Yamahas, I think, has the whole shot. No! Jarrod McClure is going to end up with the AMSOIL Whole Shot Award there, the number 4, the ATV Riders JMR-backed Honda. Looks like Walker Fowler into second, and Chris Bithell third. Oh, and a little tangle up. That's McGill getting hung up on another rider. And every position counts early in these mud races because these riders will be completely covered. And I believe the masked Yamaha rider out front right now is Fowler ahead of Bithell. And this should push McClure to third. This is McClure here. Another Yamaha coming through. That should be Borich, your defending series champ, making the switch to Yamaha this year after years and years of success on Suzuki's. And oh my goodness, I think I saw a little rain coming down just to make things worse as Fowler tries to pull away from Bithell. Then it's McClure and Borich. Borich, a bit of an up and down season so far. 2 good races with podiums, 2 races where he finished off the podium this year. So he needs to win one of these things and reestablish himself in this battle between Fowler and McGill early for the title. Here's Fowler already getting away, though. Bithell second. You know, Bithell was never known for his starts, but the last year or so, I'd say year and a half, he has really upped his game off the line, and it really helps on days like today. You can see how much cleaner your leader, Fowler, is than everyone else, and that's just a byproduct of, as they would say in the car racing world, good track position and clean air. No one able to roost him early, and I can clearly tell he's on a number 2. See Bithell, you can at least tell his, his machine is yellow. And that's the number 1, that's Borich, who has slipped around McClure. That's actually a Yamaha that just went by. That's Bryson Neal, and this is McClure. So McClure losing some ground. Bryson Neal running strong. Uh-oh, watch out for the big bad Brian Wolf. Always tough when the conditions are bad. Racer TV is brought to you by AMSOIL and by Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Chris Bithell has now slithered his way into the lead at a very muddy Limestone 100 GNCC. It's thrown a hill climb and some rocks for added challenge for these riders. And we're trying to find out what happened to our leader, Walker Fowler. He won our last race, making up ground in points, but he has not come through. That's not him either. Looking at Borich, Bryson Neal, and Jarrod McClure. So trouble somewhere in these tough conditions for Walker Fowler. I guarantee you Bithell doesn't care. He's so happy to be leading in a mud race. But it's so hard to figure out how fast to go. I mean, the real goal is to keep the machine running and also keep yourself clean. Not hit the mud holes too hard and get yourself splashed over the goggles and over the gloves. So Bithell's all alone right now and has to figure out that pace for himself. hammer down comes this pack of Yamaha riders. Followed by McClure. So that's a Borich, Neal, and McClure. And they picked up Fowler in 5th. So he's behind that group. As Bithell on the precision Bithell Racing Maxxis back Suzuki starting to get away. Hey, look, Bryson Neal now up to 2nd. So he made a move around Borich. Pushing the champ back to 3rd. And as Bithell hammers away, still no sign at all of McGill. McGill, remember, almost had the whole shot, was lined up a little too far inside to hold it in turn 1, and then got tangled up with another rider. So right now, Bryson Neal splitting Borich and Bithell. This is a good run for Borich, just trying to be consistent, get points while he adjusts to his new Yamaha ride this year, stay in the championship hunt, and you never know, later on he could be in position to win the crown again. Looks to be McClure and Fowler right here. So Fowler must have gotten stuck. Goes from 1st to 5th. And if you're wondering how you get stuck on this course, there's Bithell demonstrating right there, almost getting high centered. The real trouble with these ATVs is you get that rear skid plate, which only has about 4.5 to 5 inches of clearance under it. It's where the rear chain wheel and brake are. Under that skid plate, very easy to bottom out in these ruts. And it's only going to get worse. Stay with us. Racer TV is brought to you by AMSOIL. And by Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Bouncing down the hill, Chris Bithell in the lead on the Suzuki. They don't make that machine anymore. You cannot buy it at your local dealership, but the reputation is set in stone. A lot of titles won by Borich. Then Bithell switched to the machine recently and has had some great success as well. Looking to get the victory on it, though, and that's going to be tough. You got Bryson Neal back here, young kid, full of energy, in 2nd, and you never know when Chris Borich, your defending champ, is in 3rd or 2nd, anywhere close to the lead. He has made his money with last lap passes. Now, I don't know if he's quite there yet, if he has the Yamaha set up exactly the way he wants, if we'll see that type of action. Bithell used to call it getting Boriched, which would mean you lead all the way to the last lap, and then Chris Borich makes the pass on you. And they're pretty good friends off the track. But I guarantee you he doesn't want to see Chris right now. He just wants to get away from Borich and everyone else and put this thing on lockdown. Hasn't won a race since 2013. How about Bryson Neal? As the months and years go by, just more and more experience, running up front, getting more laps, either in the lead or close to it. It might just be a matter of time before one of these kids finally breaks through and wins one of these things. Borich still 3rd. Trying to deal with lap traffic on a rocky incline. It's a true cross-country race today, a real test. McClure hanging in there in 4th, no goggles. And look at the difference that one mistake makes. When Fowler had the early lead, he was quickly pulling away. But now that he's back here, he cannot figure out how to make up ground or make passes. So credit to Bithell for really improving his starts lately and running error-free toward the front today. And we'll hear it over and over in these mud races as Neal comes through in 2nd. It's all about keeping the machine moving in terrain like this. The fastest rider isn't necessarily going to win. The one that doesn't stop, doesn't slow down, doesn't make mistakes or get stuck, that's who's going to come out on top. Bithell out in the open, which is not any easier to negotiate than the woods today. Neil still looking good on the B. Neil Motorsports machine. And here comes the Maxxis back rider. Yamaha support, of course, going to the champ as well. Chris Borich hanging out in third, looking for a good points day. And Fowler has finally made a move around McClure, so he's up to second on the NFAB AMPRO Yamaha. Fowler, believe it or not, was just as big of a prodigy, by the way, on two wheels as four. Was once our youth overall bike and ATV champion, and once rode for the AMPRO Yamaha team, as you see Bithell fighting his way through the ruts. Walker Fowler once had a factory ride with the Yamaha folks on a motorcycle, and now has come full circle to have a factory ride with them on the ATV. Here's Neil trying to find some clean ground so it doesn't get hung up like we just saw happen to Bithell. Now we'll see how Borich handles it. Well, that's some trailblazing there. Just trying to stay out of the deep stuff. Man, Bithell is really strong today. Like I said, doesn't have anyone to work with or pace off of. Apparently doesn't need it either. Got some people on the side of the track cheering him on. Well, those downhills, it's like ice down there at the bottom, so it's very tempting to go fast and try to make up time to blow the corner at the bottom. Wow! And a little push from his buddy to get to the top. But that was impressive, the amount of momentum he rolled to the top of that hill with. Hey, we're seeing Borich in second. So what happened to Bryson Neal? A little bit of ground to make up. That's McClure, actually. So it's swapping quite a bit. Uh-oh! Almost came in contact with a lap rider. And now that momentum lost has made all the difference. McClure is going to have to dig on the JMRATVRiders.com machine. Just trying to roll to a spot where he can get grip. Rocks it back side to side. No! It's amazing how quickly things can turn in a mud race. McClure is stuck. Bithell's getting away. He could be the next victim. Racer TV is brought to you by AMSOIL and by Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Chris Bithell leading the way today at the Limestone 100. AMSOIL Grand National Cross Country Series presented by Maxxis. Call off the alarm. I believe this is Bryson Neal back in second. He's been going back and forth with Chris Borich, and some pretty heady company to be dueling with. Here's Borich in third again. No goggles for him. Yeah, it's almost impossible to keep them on in these conditions. On an ATV especially, you're just roosting yourself for starters, even if you don't have someone right in front of you. Here's your leader. Well, what a great test this is for these machines. If they can survive in these conditions, you know they'll handle anything you throw at them. Borich in second. I can't keep up. It changes every time we look. Here comes McClure in third. No change in the running order. Still Bithell out front. Borich trying to make a move. Got to get the status report out for Neil. What happened to him? McClure in third place. And now we're hearing Neil has stopped on the track. He has mechanical problems. The mud has gotten to him. Oh, the kid was looking so good in a fight for second. It's not going to show in the results column, though. Bithell, meanwhile, looks to have this one if he can just avoid those types of problems. And now, an even bigger changeup. We hear Walker Fowler is out of this race. As Borich comes through in second, Fowler being out, he was in position to make up some more points on Adam McGill, who has been a non-factor today in the mud. McGill was 11th on the first 2 laps of this race, has now snuck it into the top 10. I guarantee you he would have thought he'd be hard-pressed to extend the points lead with that. But if Fowler is indeed out, and we're hearing he is now for sure, oh, lucky day for McGill, but cross-country racing, sometimes you got to have the luck on your side. And as they say, you got to make your own luck, keep the machine running. Time running out in this one. Chris Bithell is headed toward the checkered flag, and he wins here in Indiana. Excellent job for the, I guess I can start calling him this now, the veteran from Pennsylvania and his veteran from Pennsylvania buddy, Chris Borich, second and on a bad points day for both McGill and Fowler. That will put Borich back in contention, and third is going to go to McClure, who's just as rough and tumble as they come, and being tough was very helpful on a track like this. Here are your Rocky Mountain ATVMC.com results. Brian Wolf and Johnny Gallagher. Nice job, Johnny G. Rounds out the top 5. Landon Wolf, McGill, Henthorne, and Kevin Yoho. That's your field in XC1. Here's the AMSOIL race recap while they were clean for 2 corners. We could tell it was the number 4 of McClure with the whole shot. Yielded to Fowler. Fowler made a mistake. Chris Bithell into the lead. Chris Borich would work his way past Bryson Neal for second. While bike problems, well, that ended the day early for Fowler, and that's going to hurt him in the series. Nothing was able to hurt Bithell, though. He goes on to win his first race since 2013. While behind him, McClure and Borich, third and second, respectively, up on the podium and able to celebrate. For everyone at Racer TV, I'm Jason Wygant. Thanks for watching.